Welcome to the Recipients of Honor YouTube channel. This channel is dedicated to telling the stories of Medal of Honor recipients. For conspicuous devotion to duty, extraordinary courage, and complete disregard of his own life, above and beyond the call of duty, during the attack on the fleet in Pearl Harbor by Japanese forces on 7 December 1941, Ensign Jones organized and led a party which was supplying ammunition to the anti-aircraft battery of the USS California after the mechanical hoists were put out of action when he was fatally wounded by a bomb explosion. When two men attempted to take him from the area which was on fire, he refused to let them do so, saying in words to the effect, "Leave me alone, I'm done for. Get out of here before the magazines go off." Herbert Chapu Jones was born on January 21, 1918 in Los Angeles, California, though he would call Coronado his home. His immediate family included his father, Herbert Aliasis Jones, who retired as a captain from the Navy, and his mother, Ethelyn Carson Jones. The Jones family would reside on Alameda Boulevard in Coronado for many decades. Herbert graduated from Coronado High School in 1935 and on May 15th enlisted into the Naval Reserve. He was 17 at the time of his enlistment. He would complete 2 years of college, and on November 14th, 1940, Herbert was commissioned as an ensign. A few weeks later, Herbert and his fiancée, Joanne Zinmeister, moved to Hawaii. Herbert was assigned to the USS California, which is located in Pearl Harbor's Battleship Row. A quick background of USS California. The battleship had a storied history since her launch in 1919. She served as the flagship of the Pacific Fleet for about 20 years, from 1921 to 1940. She consistently led joint Army-Navy activities and through intensive performance and stringent training, won the Battle Efficiency Pennant in 1921 and 1922. A few years later, 1925 and 1926, the California was awarded the Gunnery E. In 1930, her guns were upgraded, a new modernization that became California's signature strength. Upgrades included a heightened deck for the 14-inch guns, which improved range, and the anti-aircraft guns were upgraded from 3 inches to 5 inches. The coveted Iron Man Trophy, which was awarded to the ship with the highest standing athletic teams, was won by the crew of the USS California in 1924, 1925, 1926, 1927, and 1939. Although when Jones had arrived on board, the ship had lost much of its bravado and was mocked for its unpreparedness by other sailors. In the summer of 1941, Herbert and Joanne would have their wedding, and the two lived out their daily lives, enjoying their new lifestyle until the morning of December 7th, 1941. USS California was moored in the southernmost berth of Battleship Row. Herbert had assumed his post and relieved the junior officer of the deck. Only a few moments later, the first wave of Japanese planes attacked and all hell broke loose. A torpedo hit the ship between frame 45 and 60, with a second torpedo hitting between frame 95 and 100. Already suffering damage, it was at 0845 when a bomb dropped through California's decks at frame 60, exploded, and set off nearby anti-aircraft ammunition. A second bomb missed the deck but detonated just below the bow. Jones acted swiftly and in the smoke-filled haze rescued a fellow sailor from being trapped in a smoke-filled compartment. He was overcome by the smoke and lost consciousness for a brief moment. The ship was taking on water, and chaos ensued on the oil-stricken decks. He revived, got to his feet, and noticed an anti-aircraft gun unattended. Without hesitation, he took command of the gun and fired at the wave of Japanese planes until all the ammunition was depleted. The ammunition hoist was damaged from the torpedo that initially hit the ship, and in response, Jones organized a group of volunteers to pass ammunition by hand. Quickly, they went down 3 decks and began passing the nearly 50-pound rounds up the ladders to the battery. As the assembly line was passing the rounds, a bomb was dropped right down the center of the ship and exploded on the second deck, engulfing the decks in heavy smoke. Jones was knocked down and sustained heavy injuries as water rushed in. Fire from the burning oil of the other ships also rushed in, which led to the order to abandon ship. 2 sailors attempted to rescue Herbert from the fire that was quickly filling the compartment, and Herbert, knowing he was incapacitated and only putting their lives in danger, said, "Leave me alone. I'm done for. Get out of here before the magazines go off." Ensign Herbert C. Jones died at 23 years old. Jones acted courageously and fearlessly, stayed devoted to his ship and fellow crew. His actions not only inspired the others around him, but made them eternally grateful. Howard Haynes, a Marine Corps private, had been confined in USS California for misconduct. Haynes attributed his survival from the attack to Jones and said that it was because of Jones's actions that he survived. Ensign Jones would be posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor in March of 1942. He would be one of 4 to receive the Medal of Honor from USS California and one of 15 to receive the medal for their actions on December 7th. Check the channel for all 15 stories in their entirety. Many would be trapped in USS California as it slowly sank to the bottom of the harbor. At the end of the Japanese attack, 100 of her crew would be killed and 62 would be injured. She rested in the harbor and wasn't refloated until March 25, 1942. USS California would be dry docked and underwent repairs that allowed it to sail on its own. June 7th, it made the journey to Puget Sound Navy Yard for the major reconstruction and repairs. The USS California, just like battleships USS West Virginia and Tennessee, experienced a complete overhaul, seeing improvements to just about every part of the ship. USS California would eventually make it back to the Pacific Theater and be involved in the invasion of the Philippines and Okinawa. Ultimately, it would be decommissioned in 1947 and stricken on March 1, 1959. A few months later, on July 10th, USS California would be sold for scraps. Jones was honored as the namesake of the destroyer escort USS Herbert C. Jones. The ship was launched on January 19, 1943, and was christened by his wife Joanne, who also served as the sponsor. The ship would serve off the coast of North Africa and Italy. The ship was outfitted with new and powerful radio jamming technology, and this technology was instrumental in the detection of German radio messages and German glider bombers. The ship also played a vital role in the invasion in southern France, deemed Operation Anvil, and for the service, the ship would be awarded the Navy Unit Commendation. The ship was conducting stateside anti-submarine missions near Norfolk, Virginia until VE Day. USS Herbert C. Jones would make its way to the Pacific and was located in Pearl Harbor on the official day of the Japanese surrender. The ship would continue anti-submarine patrols until it was sent back to New York City and was ultimately decommissioned. USS Herbert C. Jones was officially placed into reserves on May 2, 1947, and was later berthed in Philadelphia until its fate of being stripped and sold in July of 1972. At the end of its duty, USS Herbert C. Jones had been awarded 3 battle stars for its service during World War II. Herbert is buried in Fort Rosecrans National Cemetery in San Diego, California, with his parents buried at his side. Ensign Herbert C. Jones embodied the idea of leading by example. To the disregard of his own safety, he stayed loyal to his ship and crew, and ultimately sacrificed his life for the safety of others. He would set a standard for many other sailors to follow, and is exemplary of honor, courage, and commitment. Thanks for watching.